I'm going to show some basic, simple estimating principles for estimating manpower and quantities. And let me show you the calculations that I'm talking about. If you have a wall 20 by 15, that's 300 square feet. If you don't know how I got that, check out my other video on lip time width. Okay, this 300 square feet, if you're using 32 square foot sheetrock, which is 8 by 4, you're going to need approximately 10 sheets. Okay, then you're going to need your compound, which is 1 bucket of compound. And then depending if you level 4 or 5, level 4 or 5 finish, it could be 2 buckets. Let's say it's a level 5 finish. That's 2 buckets of compound and maybe 6 45-minute compound. Okay. Then you have your paint. 300 square feet of paint is roughly 2 gallons of primer. And you want 2 coats of paint, so you want 3 gallons of paint. Because typically this gets somewhere between 250 square feet to 300 square feet per gallon. And here you're looking at 200 square feet to 250 square feet per gallon here. And you want to go 2 coats. Okay? So then you figure out your process of how you're going to do this. You're going to need materials, which is like scaffolding. For this, Baker scaffoldings work very good. You can rent them, but if you're a contractor, you probably have 2 or 3 sets of your own already. You're going to need ram board. You're going to have to protect the customer's floor, and you're going to need plastic because you have to protect all the other environments. What I call this is sundries. On any job that you have, you need sundries, which is paint, plastic, blue tape, ram board, all the things you need to protect the customer's floor. Maybe you have a tack mat that you put at their door, or you put a plastic containment up and you have a tack mat so you don't get dust all over their house. This is what is called sundries. For this, any kind of sundries job, I typically add somewhere between $150 to $200. Okay? After you do that, you figure out what is the process you're going to take. First, you have protection. Same day. Then you have demo. Protection and demo, all one day, 2 guys. Because it's 15 foot high, you can't have one guy demoing a 15 foot high wall. Okay, it's 2 guys. The very next day, they pack up, clean everything out. The very next day, you send 2 guys back and they drywall it. Okay, that's all day long. 2 guys. It may only take them 30, this is probably 10 sheets, so really 2 guys can knock out 10 sheets in half a day. But typically they're going to charge you a full day's work because that's the only thing they can do. They arrive at 8 o'clock, they leave at 12, 1, 2 o'clock. They can't do anything else. They're going to charge you a full day's work, and you're going to have to pay that. Then you might have a screw inspection. So you have a supervisor go out to wait for the screw inspection, right? Then the next day, you can do finish. So this is day 3, this is day 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Day 4, you have finish. That's 2 guys. Always 1 guy up, 1 guy down. And they're going to put the first and second coats. We're imagining this as a level 5 finish. So the next day, the 5th day, they put the 3rd and the 4th coat. Then you let that thing sit over the weekend, because this last coat is going to be a little wet. It takes sometimes a little bit longer to dry properly. So after it dries properly, you come back and you put your 5th coat. And that 5th coat gives you your level 5 finish. That means the wall is smooth like a baby's butt. Okay? After that, this is your 6th day. Then you prime the wall and paint. Typically, you're only going to be able to prime it, wait a little bit, and then paint. The next day, this is day 8, you're going to need to put the second coat of paint. And day 9 are all the finishes. Meaning pictures, baseboard, anything else that goes on the wall that you're supposed to put on the wall. And final clean. Finishes and final clean. Every day of this job requires 2 people except for the supervisor day. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days with 2 guys. 16 hours a day. 16 times 8. Help me out here.
128.
128. Okay? So you have 128 man hours. Plus your supervision, which you're going to need 4 hours supervision here, 4 hours supervision here. You're going to need to review this here. You're going to need at least 4 hours supervision here. And the last day, 4 hours supervision here. So that's 16 hours of supervision. He doesn't necessarily need to go out there every day, because I'm thinking the guys you're hiring know what they're doing, and all they need is a little bit of direction, and you can go out there and make sure it's right. So that's 16 man hours. So you just add 16 man hours to this, and that equals 144 man hours. So for this simple job, 20 by 15, nice wall, you're looking at probably a minimum of 144 man hours. If you go out there and look at it and you don't really get into the numbers and write these things down, you start thinking, well, maybe it's, I could do 2 guys, maybe 4 days, maybe 1 guy, and you start lowballing yourself. And you don't want to do that. You want to capture all the time you spend out there and charge properly for it. That's why it's very important to understand the quantities and how to come up with the proper procedures for doing your estimating.